Greetings, family. Peace and love to you and yours. This is Guru, and thanks for visiting my channel. Family, this video is disturbing in the fact that it's about the judge who rules that the acquitted officers in the Freddie Gray case can sue Marilyn Mosby. So, in a very twisted set of circumstances, Baltimore's state attorney Marilyn Mosby is at the center of a legal battle connected to the Freddie Gray case. After all 6 of the officers were acquitted of all charges in the death of Freddie Gray, 5 of them turned their focus to the woman who brought Gray and his severed spine to the forefront of national stage by filing a lawsuit against Mosby. Well, family, recently a federal judge ruled that the key parts of the lawsuit against her are in fact legal and can move forward. The Baltimore Sun reports that Judge Marvin J. Garbis, Garbis, and we'll just pronounce it garbage, ruled that, quote, claims including malicious prosecution, defamation, and invasion of privacy can move forward against Mosby and the Assistant Sheriff Samuel Cogent, who wrote the statement of probable cause. Mosby's attorneys argued that as the state's attorney, she has immunity from prosecution for the actions she takes in this role. But Judge Garbage argued plaintiffs' malicious prosecution claims relate to her actions when functioning as an investigator, not as a prosecutor, and that her office said they conducted an independent investigation. Well, family, sometimes when I'm going over these things, it depends on how it's edited, and so I apologize for some of the mess ups. But anyway, thanks for bearing in there with me. Before I move on, like to say that yes, unfortunately, Johnny Cochran is no longer around with us, but his spirit surely is. And I would hope that we have some very brilliant and bright legal professionals, lawyers who can come forward and represent Miss Mosby if it already hasn't been done so. I would hope that we have that kind of power to where we could fight against white supremacy, because that's all this is. This is white supremacy saying to the people that whenever you go after the police, we're not going to not only not prosecute the police, but we're going to come after you for trying to make us look bad. And that's what this case smells like. It smells just like that. So this is the year of righteousness. What we're going to do, hopefully we can accomplish in 2017, if nothing else, that we leave behind for our future generations, is that we're going to show through example not only leadership, but we're going to do it by showing righteousness. And so when we see a prosecutor, a black prosecutor like Marilyn Mosby being lynched in the court system that she works for, and I bet you right now she's getting a wake-up call. But see, I know she set out to do what was right, and what was right was to charge those officers who were responsible for Freddie Gray's death, not putting them safely in that van to where the injuries of that ride caused his death, and then no one took accountability. And so now, in the end, they turn around and want to sue her for making them look bad. No, they made themselves look bad. That's exactly what took place. But they want her to pay for it. And we should say no. As a righteous family, we should say no. You know, while I'm on this subject, we all make mistakes. None of us are perfect. And so therefore, we shouldn't judge each other as if we are. So when we make mistakes, I think it's up to each and every one of us to tap our brother or sister on the shoulder and say, hey, wait a minute, you might have this wrong, but not denigrate them or bring them down, like white people do. We shouldn't be leading through their example. They're not people who we should be following our lead through. Seriously, in 2017, we should be coming to that realization. And so with that said, I'm going to get back to the article. Claims of false arrest, false imprisonment, and abusive process were dismissed as they were claims against the state. Mosby is being represented by the Maryland Attorney General's office. Mosby charged the 6 officers involved in Gray's arrest and transport with criminal counts, including manslaughter and second-degree murder, claiming that the officers had no legal right to detain Gray and that the other officers ignored Baltimore Police Department rules requiring that Gray be secured with a seatbelt in the police van or that he be granted prompt medical attention when he complained of pain. And you see, those officers didn't even follow their own policies and procedures, and they were all acquitted by a Ku Klux Klan clown court system. Righteousness cannot operate in the same space as evil. It just cannot happen. And this system is so evil that they're turning around and showing the world that when you prosecute the police, especially white males, and I know we're not talking about all white males in this case, but see, it's a representation of the entire police force across America. That's what I'm talking about. Again, we're talking about righteousness and what's right. So forget about your feelings and not liking this. Again, they didn't even follow their own policies and procedures. So how they got acquitted, God only knows. But then again, these people don't believe in God, so I shouldn't have said that. But anyways, I digress. So it goes on to say that the officers claim that Mosby knowingly brought false charges against them. No, she didn't. Those charges were appropriate for police officers involved in the killings of human beings on the streets when we have a court and justice system that should handle any kind of criminals or crime that's being carried out in the streets. The police should not be made to act like God with a badge. That is inappropriate, unacceptable, and we should not accept that. And so again, this kangaroo court, this KKKangaroo Court is showing the world that no, we want to punish those who make us look bad. No, you make yourself look bad. That's what's so ugly about it. You make yourself look bad. I'm going to repeat it again. You make yourself look bad. Anyways, it says there's something so evil about the fact that the people who are responsible for the loss of a life are attempting to sue a woman who was simply trying to hold someone accountable for it. Exactly. That was the end of the article. This article was written by Veronica Wells. I want to give credit where it's due. Thank you, Veronica Wells. You ended that appropriately and to the point. Exactly. There's something so evil about the fact that the people who are responsible for the loss of a life are attempting to sue a woman who was simply trying to hold someone accountable for it. Family, there's a comment section. Please leave a comment if you like. Please like, share, and if you haven't already, subscribe. This is Guru. Peace and love to you and yours. And until the next video, love yourself. I'm out.